Hey there, welcome back to my channel. We just got back from a week away, so I have a lot of laundry, grocery shopping, and unpacking to do. Pretty much a home reset before we jump back into our typical routine. This video is a compilation of all the snacks I've shared throughout my content, as well as a few new recipes and ideas, making this video the ultimate place for your homemade, pre-made snack recipes and inspiration. The first snack I wanted to talk about are nuts. I love having roasted pecans or almonds on hand. Just spread them single layer on a cookie sheet and bake at 375 for about 5 to 10 minutes until they're fragrant. They'll also be a bit darker in color. Once they've cooled, you can store in an airtight container in the pantry for months. My kids and I love snacking on them. I also like having them on hand for baking. I'll be using some today for mini banana bread muffins. Roasted pecans are optional in this recipe, but if you do decide to use them, be sure to chop them finely as these are mini muffins and you don't want large pieces of nuts poking out the top of them or taking up too much room in the wells of the muffin pan. We're going to start by mixing our dry ingredients, flour, baking soda, and salt. Give that a quick mix. In a separate bowl, mix together room temperature butter, white sugar, and brown sugar till it becomes light and fluffy. Add in the eggs one at a time, mixing after each addition. Pour in the flour mixture and gently stir until everything comes together. Peel and mash 3 ripe bananas. It's always hard for me to get enough bananas for banana bread. My kids usually eat them all before they're ripe enough. Now mix in sour cream with your mashed bananas until it's well incorporated. Fold your banana and sour cream mixture into your batter. Be careful not to overmix. Now's the time to add in those chopped pecans if you're using them. Coat your pan with oil, butter, cooking spray, or use muffin liners. I measured out the batter with a tablespoon to ensure all my muffins were the same size. Bake at 350 for 10 to 15 minutes. I got 54 muffins out of this recipe. As you can see, they didn't all make it to the freezer. My kids were taking them from the cooling rack as fast as I was pulling them from the pan. Let them cool completely on a wire rack, then pop them in the freezer. This is a kind of home version of flash freezing. Letting them freeze individually like this will prevent them from freezing together in a big clump. Now my kids can help themselves to these mini muffins anytime. Just pop what you want in the microwave for a few seconds. I plan on packing a few of these in my daughter's lunchbox on preschool days. Because they're mini, they'll thaw quickly. I've shared these chocolate graham crackers on my channel a few times. I haven't seen graham crackers here in Botswana, and we all loved the chocolate honey-made graham crackers in the States. I recently cut these into bite-sized pieces and my kids said they reminded them of Teddy Grahams. I love these because they keep well in the pantry and really hold their shape. My daughter loves to help me cut out different shapes and sprinkle the sugar on top. I always have a few batches of this dough stored away in the freezer. I've even used them for homemade ice cream sandwiches, and they're great for s'mores as they have the chocolate flavor built right in. I've linked the full recipe in the description box below. Another cracker recipe for y'all. I tried several different cheese cracker recipes before landing on this one, and I still ended up tweaking it a bit. I used this cookie cutter with scalloped edges, and I poke a hole in the middle of each one. You can definitely play around with the flavors in this recipe, switching up the cheese and adding different spices like garlic and even chili flakes. I haven't done that yet because my kids are purists when it comes to their cheese crackers, but I definitely plan to. Do yourself a favor when you make these and double up on the recipe, keeping a stash in the freezer, making restocking much simpler next time around. So I don't know if everyone would qualify this as a snack, but anything my kids can help themselves to without my assistance, they can snack on. This naan bread freezes beautifully and the dough is so easy to work with. I always have some homemade marinara and shredded cheese in the fridge, making what I call homemade pizza Lunchables a staple in our home for a season. Carrots, celery, and cucumber have good shelf life in the fridge, so they're always on my grocery list. I sometimes make this Hummus Inspired Dip with chickpeas and Greek yogurt. I wish I could say that my kids love this dip, but it's just for my husband and I. My kids will, however, snack on the celery and carrot sticks, which also make great sides for lunches. From healthy to not so healthy, I love having chocolate chip cookie dough in the freezer. To be honest, I'm still in search for the perfect chocolate chip cookie recipe. I try new ones often, but whenever I do, I double up on the recipe so I can keep a batch for the freezer. Being able to bake up homemade chocolate chip cookies at a moment's notice is really nice and helps with portion control, because if there are a bunch of leftover cookies in the house, I'm probably going to eat them. I shared these pumpkin spiced energy bites in my flavors of fall video. My kids loved these. They actually love them frozen, so when I make them, I store them in the freezer. These no-bake bites are so easy to whip up. You just toss everything in a bowl. You can really play around with different ingredients and flavors. I put chia seeds in these. I have another version I'll post in the description box below. Another no-bake favorite are these peanut butter pretzel granola bars. These are probably my husband's favorite in this lineup. This recipe makes a ton. I store them in an airtight container in the freezer and just take out what we need for the week. This is what my family calls cookie granola. I was trying out an oatmeal cookie recipe that failed, but from that I got this. I have been searching for a granola recipe my kids would eat. They love yogurt, and side note, we think the yogurt here in Botswana is way better than any yogurt in the States. Anyways, this is a healthier alternative to the crushed Oreos and M&Ms they were requesting to top their yogurt, as those Yo Crunch yogurt cups were staples in our home before moving to Botswana. So I have a few more snacks for you that aren't necessarily homemade. I usually always have some of these Uncrustable sandwiches made up. My daughter is still on a Nutella sandwich kick. Sometimes I switch out the bread and make little sandwich crackers instead. I love putting together different trail mixes. I let my kids help me pick out the combination of ingredients. I do let them choose one sweet option. And let's not forget about popcorn. I don't often see the microwavable bags here in Botswana, and when I do, they're super expensive for such a small amount. We've started popping our own. This is such a filling and inexpensive snack. I don't even butter it, I just lightly sprinkle it with a little salt. I will melt the butter for movie night though. Okay, that's all I've got for you guys. I do want to take a moment to welcome all the new subscribers. I'm so glad you're here. If you're new and enjoy this content, I would greatly appreciate it if you would tap on that subscribe button. I have tons of new recipes, meal prep, and dinner inspiration coming your way.